Good morning, sunshines. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about a case that was really, really sad and really horrible, and like it just sucks that it happened. But what really sucks is that this happened at the same time as Gabby Petito was missing. And if you guys remember, that was summer of 2021, and the whole country was looking for first for Gabby, and then when we found Gabby's body, we were searching for the ex or the boyfriend who murdered her, and everybody was looking for this dude everywhere. Like Brian Laundrie, I'm sure you guys remember. Some people even said he was hiding underneath the flower bed in like a bunker in their backyard. His parents' backyard. It doesn't get crazier than that, but like apparently there was like a drone shot of their backyard, and Brian's mother was tending to her flowers, and some person said they saw a hand come up out of the ground. People were nuts trying to find Brian Laundrie, right? But that's not what I'm gonna talk about. But in this particular situation, this case got kind of forgotten about because it happened at like the same time. You remember, I swear the whole country was searching for Gabby and Brian. But in the meantime, in oh, and you remember, if you guys remember the Brian and Gabby story, they were pulled over by a cop and they got all that body cam footage. That was in Moab, Utah. So also elsewhere in Moab, there was a double murder. Two adorable girls. They were married, and they were, they reminded me of like the hippie chicks. Like they were living off the land. They had like a tent and two cars, and like they had their whole little campsite set up, which is where they lived, and it was right outside of Moab. Now, their names were Kylen, Schulte, and Crystal Turner. Kylen was she was working at a store, like a grocery store, as I don't remember. It wasn't like a grocery store. It was a tiny little grocery store that sold like mostly organic and vegan option things. You know what I mean? It was like a tiny little shop. And then across the street from where Kylen worked, Crystal worked, and she just worked at McDonald's, right? Now, this happened, well, on August, let me start at where it all begins. On August 18th of 2021, the bodies of married couple Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner were found in Moab, Utah. They were killed by gunshot wounds and had last been seen alive 5 days earlier in December. In December of 2022. Excuse you. Excuse you. Hi, I'm a nuisance. You can't go up there. Mommy's recording. Nobody wants to see your butt. I know you're cute, but no. Alright. So, yeah, they were last seen 5 days before they were found. And, people were searching, but again, it all was overshadowed by the Gabby and Brian story. Like, yeah, it was on the news and we heard about it here and there, but then they also started saying maybe Brian Laundrie killed these girls too. Because the days that they were in Moab these girls lived there, and Brian was going through when he had that fight with Gabby that, we got all that body cam stuff from the Moab police when they pulled him over, and Gabby had her eye was all swollen and red, and, it was horrible, and I still can't stomach why those cops let them go. Like, let Brian, it was obvious that he was beating on her, because like even in the 911 calls, the guy was slapping the girl. So, and Gabby just did what typical domestic violence victims do, and she just denied it. I hit him first. You know what I mean? She didn't want him to get in trouble. But I wish that she would have, because things may have turned out very differently. But let me get back to Kylen and Crystal, because this is not a video about Gabby, even though they kind of cross paths in the town part. They were both in Moab. All right, so yeah, 5 days earlier, and now in December of 2022, the case was finally closed. They let's see. They were Kylen and Crystal were married on April 20th, and they had a pet rabbit named Ruth. They were last seen on August 13th at a bar in Moab around 9:30 at night. Now, these girls were, madly in love with each other, and all the people in the local area knew them, So, they actually had said to some witnesses there at the bar that night that, nobody followed them out when they were leaving, but they had told people that night at the bar that there was a creeper dude hanging around their campsite, making them uncomfortable. They even said, like, if we go missing, it's probably this dude. Like, I mean, they actually said that to their friends. Of course, not thinking it would ever be true or come true, but you know what? It's a fucking horrible, horrible story. Like, I just can't believe it. So, Kylen's dad lives in Montana, and he said that they moved the campsite to a different location because of the creeper dude. So, when they disappeared, people, of course, were searching, but like I said, it was kind of overshadowed by the Gabby thing. And so Kylen's dad had a friend that lived in Moab, and he asked her, would you mind just going out, drive around, see if you see, I forgot to mention, Crystal had a motorcycle too. So they had a motorcycle, a car, and their tent, and their little, I'll show you a picture, because, yeah, I've seen them on a picture of their little campsite. So, this lady that the father asked to go out there, she was on the phone with Kylen's dad, and she found them. Well, she found Kylen. The campsite where they were staying had this little creek that went past, and they found Kylen face down in the water, obviously deceased. And then, once she realized, oh my God, like, there she is, and she's, she's dead, like, and then she realized, oh my God, I'm in the middle of nowhere, I need to go tell the cops, like, the killer could still be here, and he could be looking at me right now, so she freaked out a little bit, jumped in her vehicle, and drove to the police station. Now, when the cops went out to the location, they, at that point, let's see, at that point, they located Crystal's remains as well. They were kind of near, they weren't exactly right next to each other, so like I said, the lady only saw Kylen, but then she ran to the police went back and were able to find both of them. They were both, undressed from the waist down, and they both had multiple gunshot wounds on their backs, sides, and chests. So, you would automatically think that this was like a rape and murder situation, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me finish telling the story. So, the police found the Kia Sorento, a camping tent, a long-term camping tools and supplies, and a makeshift shelter for the bunny. They also obtained a search warrant for the van, because, they were like van life people, and they had a Ford Econoline, and that, in that they found more personal items as well as a Bible. In October of 2021, authorities released an affidavit for a search warrant that had been signed in September of 2021. and executed within 24 hours. It included an investigation into a cell tower at Jimmy Keene Flats, which is near where their campsite was, between August 13th and 15th for phones within a 2-mile radius of the crime scene. So the cops, they were checking that whole area to see what cell phones were in that area at the same time as the girls. An anonymous local business contractor and a local private lending company offered separately $10,000 rewards. So there was a $20,000 reward for these, ladies to be found. And for any information about the case. Now, in January of 2022, the police announced that they had identified a person of interest in the case, but he was cleared the following month. They never thought it was Brian Laundrie. Let's just put that out there. It's just a coincidence that they were both in Moab, like on the 13th-ish. But we have van life, video of Gabby and Brian. We have, their van caught on somebody's GoPro. It was a family that were traveling through the Grand Teton Park, and they saw the van parked. So yeah, they had nothing, or Brian had nothing to do with the Kylen and Crystal thing, but of course you know how people are. They just, well, it had to be him, like there's no other criminals in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, then in March of 22, a private investigator offered to help Kylen's father, and he claimed that law enforcement had obtained an audio recording from near the crime scene on which gunshots and screams can be heard. Authorities admitted the audio's existence and confirmed that shots can be heard on it, but did not confirm that screams are heard. The private investigator also alleged that the recording was recorded at 11:35 a.m. August 14th, the morning after Crystal and Kylen were last seen alive. The police also confirmed the date, but would not reveal the time of day. In May 2022, the police confirmed there was a likely suspect in the killings. His name was Adam Pinkusewicz. I'm going to put it on the screen here. Pinkusewicz, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. He reportedly left the state and killed himself after the killings. He confessed to another person, I think his partner, and provided details that had not been made public. So according to Kylen's father, the police also found evidence at the scene pointing to Pinkusewicz. The first news release by the Grand County Sheriff's Office, issued on August 19th, claimed that there was no danger to the public. The claim was met with skepticism by the friends of the couple, who believed the statement was to protect the tourism industry while investigating the case. Like, they didn't want people to stop coming to Moab on vacation, so they just said, we don't have anything to worry about. This was like a one-time thing. So yeah, and then I was saying there might be speculation that Brian Laundrie might be the murderer. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention the little store where Kylen worked. That was called Moonflower, and Moonflower was kind of right where the man saw Brian slapping Gabby. Like, when the guy made the 911 call, he said the guy slapped the girl. They were right there outside of Kylen's work. Isn't that crazy coincidence? And that's all it is, just a coincidence. The killer is Adam Pinkusewicz. So, Kylen's father started a fundraiser to help cover funeral costs for the both of them. And they did make what, the amount that they needed to pay for the funeral. So I'm trying to see how that, okay. Sorry about the pause here. All right. So let's talk about Adam Pinkusewitz. Now, he was also employed at McDonald's, so he worked with Crystal. Now, this was during COVID, so they had to work with masks on. So I think Adam was the creeper guy, and I think that Crystal didn't recognize him because he wasn't wearing the mask. Like she didn't have a real good idea of what he looked like, and plus they also didn't work the same shift, so like they would only see each other rare, like in passing, kind of. And Adam was gay, and he told his boyfriend that he did this. Um, let's see. He confessed to his gay boyfriend months before the police found out. Adam was 45 and he murdered Crystal and Kylen, who were shot to death, before taking his own life at a motel on September 24th. So, like, he obviously couldn't deal with the guilt of what he did, so he killed himself. Um, the gentleman, the gay partner, he had traveled to Waterloo, Iowa to see, like, after the after the murders where he confessed. He also texted the partner in March and said, "I'm afraid I have an ongoing impulse in me to kill the right people." What? You know what I mean? Like, what? You know how I go, what? So Pinkusewitz revealed his motive to his partner, too. He said he shot them because Crystal had been bossy when he was working with her at McDonald's. She was bossy, so he murdered her? What a fucking wacko. So, despite this, the partner didn't come forward to the cops and was tracked down earlier this year. Cops said that evidence on his phone showed extreme signs of racism and anger problems, as well as fantasies about rape and murder. I'm going to show you some photos. I got Adam's picture and then the picture of Kylen and Crystal. This particular photo is my favorite. It's so adorable. So, yeah, like I was saying, the friend of Kylen's dad found them 4 days after they went missing, and then they held a press briefing and said that Pinkusewitz was in a gay relationship with a man who knew about the murders. The man didn't come forward until police tracked him down. Authorities did not identify him, you know, the significant other guy, but said he was not in Utah at the time of the murders. The two had split up several months earlier, when investigators traveled to speak with the suspect's former gay lover, and that is when they learned of Pinkusewitz's detailed confession. Now, Adam told his boyfriend that he had killed 2 people. And then he said Adam told him the 2 people he killed were women and that he shot the women while they were in the tent, he said. Pinkusewitz threw the gun somewhere, but he didn't know where. He also said that his lover told him he shot them because the one woman was bossy when they were working. He then proceeded to tell investigators that when he attempted to look up any information on what his former partner just revealed, Pinkusewitz took his phone away. He told police, "I didn't say anything because I was scared of Adam and what he would do." He also told police that he did not know that Pinkusewitz had killed himself. So investigators revealed that the gunshots and screams were heard on surveillance August 14th, 12:54 p.m. on the day of the slayings. A Toyota Yaris resembling Pinkusewitz's was seen driving away from the campground. So there must be a camera out there that picked up the vehicle, picked up the screams, the gunshots, and it all happened between like 11:30 a.m. and 12:30, like just after noon. Broad daylight, it's crazy. Like that morning, it's said that Kylen and Crystal went on the motorcycle into town. I think it was a Harley, but I'm not 100% sure, so yeah, they took the motorcycle into town and got something to eat, and people saw them, and that was the last time they saw them because, they went back to their campsite, and Pinkusowitz came up to them inside the tent and shot them. And then I'm guessing he dragged each one of them out to the creek and threw them in. And I don't think they were both naked from the waist down, but I don't think that was because of Pinkusowitz. I don't think he was interested in that at all. Being that he was a gay man. I think it's possible they may have not had pants on because maybe they were doing something in a tent when he barged in and shot them. Maybe they were together, like having a little afternoon delight, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know. Like, that's the only reason I can think of that they would have been naked from the waist down. Or maybe he pulled off their pants to make it look like it was a sex offense thing. You know what I mean? So, March 18th, 2021, 5 months before the murders, Adam had wrote about his constant thoughts in his mind. I'm afraid I have an ongoing impulse in me to kill or rape people, his notes revealed. I overwork myself, and that's caused me to feel bad and think negative, evil thoughts, and this doesn't define me or say who I am. And I can say, in another way, redundantly, if I wish, I am a free person. Okay. Investigators said he deleted all the photos on his phone, like of him camping. Some were recovered by investigators, memos, and screenshots. He also deleted his Google history and Facebook account. His encrypted email was not able to be recovered due to the time that elapsed, but his notes mentioned the area where the homicide occurred months prior. Police did not realize Pinkusowitz had killed himself until March of 2022, 6 months after he'd done it in September. Surveillance video is how they knew that they were at the bar. Like I was saying, on the night of the 13th, they were in Woody's Tavern, downtown Moab. And let's see, I already said this. Gunshots and screams. 11:48 a.m. So yeah, like between 11:30 and 12:30. Throughout the investigation, police said they had their own theories, including the creepy camper theory, based on reports that the couple told friends about the man at the campsite, intimidating them and made them move their site. There was also the idea that the shooting stemmed from an argument with the coworker, which they didn't really have an argument. He just said she was bossy. So yeah, the investigators confirmed that the creepy camper guy was definitely Pinkusowitz. So they were coworkers, Crystal and Adam, and he was described as a disgruntled worker. Police said that days before the murder, he got into a heated argument with a female manager who told him he needed to work faster. He responded by making comments about her sexuality and threatening to kick her ass. The manager, who was disturbed by his threats, left and had another manager fill in. That's creepy. Like, he scared her so bad that she had to leave. So yeah, Pinkusowitz was eventually fired, and after the double homicide, he didn't even show up to pick up his last check. Authorities said they don't believe that he ever confronted Crystal during their work shift, but the coworkers heard him complaining that when Crystal made complaining when Crystal made sandwiches for Kylen when she wasn't working. They also made not that they did what? What? I think they messed up in the article because this makes no sense. I'm going to read it to you exactly like it says. They also made not that they did not work on the same shift and due to COVID-19 mask regulations. What? Anyway, Crystal probably just didn't recognize him, So, when Pinkusowitz became a person of interest early in the investigation, they were unable to locate him based on the address they had. Apparently, he was, van lifing it too. Approximately 10 days after the murder, on August 27th, 2021, Pinkusewicz arrived in Waterloo. And on September 24th, the local authorities were alerted to his death. Investigators later learned that his car was sold there in December and learned of Pinkusewicz's suicide. Yeah, I got the car photo and once again a picture of Adam. So Grand County investigators said a suicide note was left behind in which he wrote about his firing, describing management as lefty liberal bosses for not working fast enough. The note also disclosed his former lover, who had not yet spoken to authorities, but when he did finally interview him, they said he was very forthcoming. Willow, don't get in front of my camera. Yeah, I know. My baby. So, yeah. He also told investigators he was afraid of Pinkusewicz and did not know about the suicide. They said that if Pinkusewicz were still alive, they would have enough evidence against him to secure a conviction and announce that the case was closed. They said they would reopen the investigation if new information came forward. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that Adam was like a gay incel? No, not really, because he did have a boyfriend. But what? I don't understand what would make him so angry with that beautiful couple. Like, what did they ever do to him? I guess Crystal was bossy, but, you know, bossy happens. You don't kill people for it. And I honestly didn't see her as the bossy I didn't even know her, okay? But from the photos and from the things that Kylen's father has said, because he's been on a lot of interviews, and a lot of people's channels have gotten the pleasure of speaking to him. And he's a very sweet man, and he's very well-spoken, down to earth, and like, he describes both of them, Kylen and Crystal, as amazingly sweet, loving, caring souls. Two people that fit together like a puzzle piece, like puzzle pieces. They were so loved by everybody that ever met them. And there was no reason for this. Like, none. This guy just barged into their tent and shot them. And it's just so horrible. Like, I guess there's like some sort of like a banquet facility right up there in that area. Because it's gorgeous. Like, this particular place in Moab where they were camping. Gorgeous view. But rather close by, there was like I said, it's like a venue for like weddings and things like that, and they've got obviously cameras, and one of those picked up the sounds of the girls screaming and the gunshots. And then the video that was recorded shows Adam's vehicle, which was a Toyota Yaris, flying out down, away from the girls, from the bodies. So yeah, I guess he dragged them out one by one to the creek and threw them in. Crystal ended up a little bit farther upstream than Kylen. That's why when Kylen's dad's friend got there, she saw Kylen, but she didn't see Crystal. And then she thought, oh my God, the killer could still be here, and she, bounced. But that's messed up. That, like, these cops were searching, and a civilian found them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even feel like they were really looking. I don't understand. But, yeah, so, I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that, like, this case was resolved. Like, people thought it was Brian. I knew it wasn't Brian. Most people knew it wasn't Brian, but there were a couple people, probably the same people that thought his hand came up from the ground. But such a sad story, because they were so beautiful and they had so much, like, of their lives still to live. They were so young, like, it's so messed up. and they're every single picture of them, they're just glowing with happiness that they're together, you know. And that's probably the only thing that I can take out of this case that's not like a punch to the heart, and that's the fact that they went together. You know what I mean? Like, their souls are free and in heaven, and they're together, and that is amazing. So yeah, that's the story. The media and look at the little scene stealer. What? Are you talking? What are you doing? Yeah? Are you being a nuisance? Uh-huh. Oh, I love you. She's so freaking cute. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think that, like, why do you think he did this? Was it, like, jealousy? Did he not like the fact that, they were lesbians? That doesn't make sense, because he was a gay man. I guess he could be, like, one of those gay people that hates other gay people, which is weird, but there are people like that. Person that comes to mind first is that guy who shot up the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, which I am going to do a video on that. Maybe I'll even do that today. But that case was a gay man who shot up a bunch of gay people. Well, because he was repressing his sexuality. Like, he was married to a woman, but even his wife said, like, he's got a thing, like a I don't know how to put it, like he just came off as being kind of feminine and whatnot. So the wife, always questioned whether he was going to leave her for a man. And, you know, he didn't, as far as I know, you know, I don't think he ever acted on the gay thing, but it pissed him off so much that he had those feelings that he took it out on 50 people at, you know, Pulse, which is, so sad. And, you know, especially for me, because when I lived in Florida, I was there all the time. Like, Thursdays were hospitality nights, and every Thursday we would go, because it was free admission, half price drinks for everybody that worked for any one of the theme parks, hotels, you know, etc. So, yeah, take my Disney ID, get in for free, and everything's half price. Pulse was the shit, you guys. It was such a beautiful place, and the people were amazing and sweet and friendly, and the gay men would be in their little Speedos dancing on the bar. I mean, there were women as well, but more guys. And it was amazing, and it was so upsetting to me that that's where this guy chose to go with his gun and kill so many people. Like, he just sprayed the place with bullets. And, in the end, it was 50 people that he killed. So, maybe that's the same kind of thing with this guy. Maybe Adam was so mad that he was gay that he wanted to take his rage out on other gay people. I really don't know. Like, let me know what you guys think. Do you think, like, I want to know what you guys think his reason was for, you know, doing this. Look at the baby. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna, of course, supply you guys with PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. Anything you could do, I would love, would be so appreciated, because I'm still not monetized, and I have a long road ahead of me before I'm going to be monetized. And, you know, the cool thing about it, though, like, so far, is I can say whatever the fuck I want, because I'm not, I don't have to worry about them taking, you know, not, what is it called? Like, whenever it flags you for, like, using profanity, and then it takes away your ability to make money on the video. Like, that can't happen to me yet, so I can say, fuck, fuckity fuck, all I want. And they can't do nothing about it. Anyway, So let me know what you guys think about this case, Kylen and Crystal. Oh, the media and us true crime people, we refer to them as KyCry. Isn't that cute? KyCry, KyCry, Kylen, Crystal. Anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think, and as always, I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.